Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ann Brown on the line all the way from Accokeek, Maryland. And tonight, for our Getting Started training, tonight I want to talk about the four seasons. Now, we all know that we have winter, spring, summer, and fall. Especially in the DC area, we are fortunate enough to experience each one of those seasons: winter, spring, summer, and fall. In other areas, you might have a really long summer or a really long spring. However, hopefully everyone can relate to having four seasons. We know that winters are generally cold. Falls are generally a little chilly. They come right after summers, which are generally hot. And spring is really a mild temperature. Well, what does this have to do with our business? Well, a lot of people categorize people's personalities in various different ways. I've heard of fish, whale, shark, that kind of thing. I've heard of different colors: blue, reds, orange, greens. I've heard of different colors. However, the way I learned people's personalities was by the seasons. And so when you think about winter, spring, summers, and falls, you can learn how to talk to various people. Once you figure out what their dominant personality is, you know how to speak with them. Now, we're not going to go deeply into this. In fact, I'm going to download a video, or may already have it downloaded. I need to see if I still have it on this laptop. I don't think I do. I think it's on my old laptop and it got corrupted. So I may have to try to download it again. However, this was taken from a trainer, a network marketing trainer that we all had the opportunity of being trained under years ago. And he was very, very effective at the time. And he just really had a knack, and he had built large organizations. So our director at that time, I kind of hired him to train us on different things, different sales background and tactics and that kind of thing. So one thing that he trained us on was people's personalities. Now, we all have several different personalities, and you're going to be a mixture. So most people are a mixture of different characteristics. No one really is one thing, but there's generally a dominant personality that shows through. For instance, the characteristics of a winter personality is someone who's generally very businesslike, very short and to the point. They don't need a lot of information to make a decision. If it makes sense, they roll with it. They're people who make a decision and it takes them a long time to change it. Once they say it is going to, they're going to make that decision. Generally, they're going to make it work. They stick and stay, and they make things happen. So a winter personality is someone that generally you'll find wearing maybe dark colors. They like to be stylish, professional. They really handle themselves professionally. They take a lot of notes, and sometimes they can be very matter of fact. They may have a tone that, may rub you the wrong way sometimes, just because they know what they know and they don't beat around the bush. It's either yes or no, or, this is how we can do it, or that kind of thing. So they are generally people that, know what they know. They walk the walk and talk the talk. Now, let's talk about, and winters are generally interested in money. They are money motivated. They truly look at the bottom line. And they may say, well, if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make money. And so it has to make sense. So winter personalities are really money motivated. Now, then you have spring. After winter comes spring. Well, spring, personality is just like spring. It's nice, it's airy. It's those people who just love to help people, just have a lot of love and compassion for people, and they want people to just have a good time, and they just want everybody to be happy, and they don't want any confusion. They just like, okay, let's just all just get along, and they just skipping through life, just having a great time. So those people are kumbaya people. They like to be comfortable. You might see them wearing Birkenstock. You may, see them always. They don't like to dress up. They wear comfort attire. In fact, if you look at Juliet St. John, she is a strong spring because she believes in comfort and being the way that she is, and just, long hair, and it just flowing through life at a whole nother level. And so she's truly a spring personality because she does have a desire to help people. She wants to help as many people as possible. She actually adopted an orphanage to be able to help people. She's really given a lot. She's now helping her children and her grandchildren. She helped her mom when she was alive. So she is a really big person that helps. But she's a combination of the winter personality because she is serious about her money, and she's serious about doing the work so that she can live the life that she wants to live. So a spring personality is someone that is just easygoing, and they just want to enjoy life. They love to travel, love to have fun, and just relax. They're people that just want you to relax and have fun. And then you have the summer. Summer people are people who truly love to have fun. They're They're always dancing at the events. They generally wear bright colors. They got something going on. If they come to a meeting, they're sitting there looking at their time, they're watching, wondering when the party starts. They are just itching, and they're like, look, they're high energy, and they're not as concerned with money as much as they are with having fun and meeting people, being around people, being out and about, being in the crowd, or that kind of person. That kind of person loves to have fun. Well, those are your summer people, and those are people who truly keep things going, make things lively. They're dancing, they're talking, they're having a great time. And every personality is very important in your team and in your environment. However, those summer personalities are great because they generally talk loud. They love to have, just really just loud and boisterous, and love to have fun. And then you have your falls. Now, your fall personalities are those people who need the facts. They're people who are very studious. They are also generally very business-like, very business-minded. They're always taking notes, copious notes. They want to know the facts, and they're going to reiterate the facts. They're going to ask a whole lot of questions. They need to be clear. They are always asking for clarity, and I want to make sure I understand, or I want to make sure that I know what to say, so I'm saying things correctly. So those people are your fall people. They're going to ask 11,000 questions. So just get ready. They're going to ask every question that they could possibly think of. And they're not being negative. They're just inquisitive like that. They just want to know. But those fall people are people who, again, if their questions are answered, they tend to be people who stick and stay. They're not going anywhere. If they make the decision to join your organization or join your team, they're there for a while. You have to, they really have done the research, and they're there for a while. So those are the 4 seasons: winter, spring, summer, and fall. Now, how do you implement that? Well, when you're prospecting and talking to people and you recognize whether they're winter, spring, summer, or fall, then you can speak to them by what you think they'd be interested in. And sometimes they'll tell you. Friends in winter may tell you, well, baby, I'm all about the money. If it don't make money, it don't make sense. Well, you know that 9 times out of 10, that's a winter personality. So you want to talk about the compensation plan and make sure they understand the compensation plan. And then maybe you're talking to somebody who you meet them out at the cookout and they dancing, maybe they have some wine or something like that. And they're loud, hey, yo, come over here, bring me a bottle. Well, and they're like, man, I just want to have fun. I just want to go to the concert. I just want to have a good time. And so if you have someone with that personality, you want to talk about the fun times of travel. You want to talk about the travel that they can do. You want to talk about all the fun that they can have, the places that they can go. You want to get them to talk to people who've taken some fun trips, that get them to talk about how they can do it, how they did it, and they could do it too. So that's that summer personality. Now that spring personality, that person that is sort of kumbaya and they meditate. They are truly just trying to keep things calm. They don't want to cause any waves. They just like coasting through life. Well, you want to talk to them about how they can help people because they love to help people. So you want to talk about how maybe they can start their own foundation through travel, how maybe they can help people by paying them rent or mortgage. They can help people by helping them become debt free. They can help people travel the world. They can even help raise money for different organizations and different causes through our company. And so you want to talk to them about that because that is what's going to interest them. Now, you also have the fall. Your fall people are those people who just want the facts. They are the ones that are paying attention to the presentation and saying especially where we say that, okay, hundreds of people have earned those $1 million bonuses. They're writing that down, the opportunity to earn a $500 bonus, a $1,000 bonus, $10,000 bonus. That last part of the presentation where you're going through the numbers, they're actually taking screenshots of those shots so that they know, okay, I can be at the first level, the second level, the third, and they're studying that. Let me tell you, there are people who taking screenshots while we're doing the presentation and studying the presentation so that they understand how to get promoted in the various things. Those are fall people, fall personalities. And it doesn't mean that they're negative. It just means that they like to have a lot of information. And there's nothing wrong with that. So how is that good in your organization? Well, in your organization, you want to have all types of personalities, but you also want to realize that not everybody is going to like every part of the presentation. And not because everybody doesn't like every part of the presentation, because you know that you're going to have a mixture of personalities in the room, your presentation should have something for every personality. For instance, our presentation does have fun. It talks about the money. It talks about being able to help people, and it gives the facts. So think about this. Just the other day, one of our partners says, oh, and I love the presentation, but I can't stand that directorship part. When you start going through all of that, all the money and all of that stuff. Well, 9 times out of 10, that's a person that is either a summer personality and loves to have fun, and they might be a mixture of a spring personality and loves to help people. And I know that the person who said that to me is a person that loves to help people and they love to have fun. But at the end of the day, they also have some winter mixed in them because they can be quite abrupt and they really track their money. And so I know that they want to know about the money and they're interested in making money. However, I guess seeing seeing that part tends to annoy them. So, but I know that, but it's a part of the presentation, which is now, if you notice, I've changed that to start talking about options. That, hey, in our company you have options. You know, when you buy a car, you have options, and even though you may choose not to exercise the options, it's still there. If you have heated seats and you choose to never turn on your heated seat, that's your option. But the car has heated seats if at any time you want to have your seats heated. And so if you want your butt warm, then turn on the heated seats, and so that they can heat. But if not, then turn it off. Well, with our compensation plan, if you don't want to build a team, don't. It's an option. If you want to build a team and earn multiple bonuses, you can. If you don't, it's cool. You don't have to. There's no pressure. If you want to just book travel, you can. If you don't. It's an option. There's no pressure. You get to make this business what you want it to be. And so we always talk about all the options. If you want to have fun, you can. If you're not interested in having fun, don't. It's an option. So it's all about what you want to create, or what that person wants to create in their business. So our presentation is created to appeal to all four of those personalities. So when you want to listen to people and hear what they're saying, so that you can understand what their dominant personality is and what they're most interested in. And if you really learn how to use this, it can be very, very instrumental in your success. So I encourage you to think about the people that you know, the people that you're inviting to your travel party, and decide, try to figure out if you feel like they are a winter, a spring, a summer, or a fall, or a combination of some of those. But try to figure out what their dominant personality is. And that way we can speak their language and begin talking to them about what they're most interested in. Because it's not about what you're interested in. People get started for their own selfish needs and what it is that they're interested in. And so when we can have conversations centered around their interest, the chances of them joining your business increases. So that's my getting started training for today. I would just want to be short and sweet. It's called Winter, Spring, Summer, and Fall. I'll try to find the video, because I actually recorded a video that went into more detail. And if I find it, I'll make sure I put it in the group so that you can watch that as your leisure. It really goes into more detail. However, people's personalities is very, very important. And you want to make sure that you understand what people's personalities are. So thank you so much for joining us on this presentation this evening. This is Ann Brown on the line, all the way from Accokeek, Maryland, with your Getting Started Right training today on January 16, 2023. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. And I look forward to seeing you. And yes, I do mean you at the top, at the very top. It's going to be the tip top, because the bottom is much too crowded. Have a good night and God bless. Bye-bye.